Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And we are back with part C of asking for something. Asking for things.
Yes, asking for some things.
Some things, that's right. Because we've already asked for some things in a restaurant.
Yep.
That went very well.
Yep.
We're not sure we got the food for Sabrina, but we did get her hot tea and honey, so that's good.
Yes.
And then yesterday, we were asking for things.
At a hotel.
Ooh, Mr. Howell, Logan Howell, was asking for things at the hotel. He wanted some towels, right?
Yep, towels, and he was also looking for a reservation at a restaurant.
That's right, he was a hungry Howell.
Yes, he might have to ask for things again at the restaurant.
That's
so good thing we did both part A and B.
That's
so that Logan Howell will know how to do that.
If he doesn't know, he can go back to part A, which is asking for things at a restaurant. So part B was in a hotel, and part C, well, eventually after your holiday, you probably need to go home. So we're going to be asking for things on an airplane. So this is actually in the air when the plane is flying. We're not asking for things at the airport. No, we've done all that stuff. Now we're on the plane and we're gonna get some help because we're not comfortable or we're thirsty or we're cold or something.
Yes, unfortunately, when you're on an airplane, there could be many of those different things that are making you uncomfortable.
True, and there are many problems that they can't help you with.
Yes, that's also true.
Right?
So,
I want to go outside. Like, nah, sorry, you can't go outside.
In a couple hours when we land, you can go outside.
Yes, that's right.
But this is a good example of even if you're on an airplane and you think maybe they can't help me, it never hurts to ask because some flight attendants can kind of have a little wiggle room with what they can help you with. So if you ask very nicely.
Exactly, and like all of our other dialogues, being polite when you ask for something can get you many steps towards success. So let's do that. Part C, on an airplane, we're asking for something. Let's find out who needs something and if they're gonna get it. Patrick pushed the flight attendant call button.
Hello, sir. What can I do for you?
Hi. May I have a pillow and blanket? They weren't on my seat when I boarded the plane.
All right, yes, we are asking for something on an airplane, part C. That's what we're looking at. What's the situation? What's going on? Patrick pushed the flight attendant call button. Oh, this is very exciting. I don't think I've ever pushed the flight attendant call button. You know, when you need something, they're on the arm of your chair. They might have a button, bing, and it makes a little light and it goes bing. And then 5 minutes later or a few minutes later, someone comes to help you.
Yes.
I've never done this. This is very exciting.
Yes, I think I've accidentally done it and then been terrified and tried to turn it off.
Yeah.
And then they still come over and say, did you need something? I'm sorry, it was
It's like sticking your hand up in class.
I know, it's
You're like,
kind of terrifying.
they're gonna see me.
Yes, but as said, we are on an airplane. And an airplane, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this, but it is that giant metal, steel, all kinds of different material vehicle that flies through the air. And so if you are traveling by air from one country to another, or even one place to another within a country, for example, America is big enough that you probably want to fly most places, then you are going to ride on an airplane. And of course, you will have many different sizes of airplanes. There are also many different types of airplanes, ones that carry passengers, but also ones that might fly in the military, in the Air Force, or cargo planes that are carrying stuff to different countries. So lots of different types of airplanes.
That's right. And all of them will have wings. They have to have wings. If you're talking about a helicopter, that would not be an airplane.
That's not an
that
airplane.
might be an aircraft, but not an airplane. They gotta have wings. And you're right, all shapes and sizes, and the ones that carry people as their main thing, passengers, like people like you and me traveling from one place to another, they often have workers inside the plane taking care of us the passengers, the people traveling, sitting in the seats, not flying the plane, not doing that important job up front, but inside the main part of the plane, walking around, helping people, bringing you food, bringing you drinks, keeping you safe, and helping you with problems. Those people are flight attendants. This is a good term because we can use it for both men and for women. It's not one of those words that is attached to a certain gender. So a male flight attendant, a female flight attendant, they're all flight attendants, and they're there to basically make sure that we, the passengers, have a safe, comfortable experience on the airplane.
Yes, and while you're on the airplane, on your seat or maybe on the armrest is a little button called the call button. And it usually looks like a little person. Maybe they have a little hand like with a cup that shows that they are a server or a flight attendant. And this button usually will make like we said before, a little ding sound and a little light will go up on the top. And then later a flight attendant will come over and check, what do you need? So this is a way to get the flight attendant's attention without having to stand up and go find them and without having to shout across the plane, hey, can somebody help me? No, you can just push this little button.
That's right. Some restaurants also have this, right? If you want the server to come and take your order, you can press the call button and a bell or a noise will sound and they will come in a few seconds or a minute and help you out. So, what is the problem that Patrick needs help with?
Well, let's see. So the flight attendant is responding to the call button.
Bing, 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 bing,
oh, please, sir, please. Bing, bing, bing. So maybe if they were a kid, ding, 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 ding. But the flight attendant says, hello, sir, what can I do for you?
Hello, sir. Stop pressing the button.
Yes,
what can I do for you? Don't press it many times. That's a good way to make sure the flight attendant does not come to help you. So Patrick is very polite. He says, hi, hello to the flight attendant as they come over. And then he gets to his request, his problem. May I have a pillow and blanket? All right, that's very normal for an airplane, especially when you're traveling a long way. Airplanes can fly very high. They can get kind of cold inside. And of course, some people like to sleep on the airplane if they're lucky enough to be able. I can't sleep on an airplane, no, but I will maybe ask for a blanket and pillow just to be more comfortable. He says the blanket and pillow, weren't on my seat when I boarded the plane. Good point, because often when you board a plane or get on the plane, especially for those long trips overnight, they will often have a blanket and pillow for everyone already because many people will want one of these things. That saves them time. But yes, sometimes someone steals your blanket or they just forget to put it there. A blanket, this is a noun. It is a very useful large piece of cloth that we use to cover our bodies to stay warm, especially when we are lying down to sleep. If you're sleeping in a colder place, you might have one blanket. If it's really cold, you might have 2 or 3 blankets. Or some people might have a blanket on their sofa and they can sit there and watch a movie and wrap themselves in the blanket to be nice and warm. But it's basically just a large square or rectangular piece of cloth, a little bit thick, and you can wrap it around you or put it on you when you're lying down to stay warm. Or also wrap your legs up in it when you're in your seat on the plane.
Yes, and so your seat on an airplane is just the chair that you have been assigned to that you must sit in for the whole flight. And so most airplanes have 3 seats and then the aisle and then 3 seats. So you have that's kind of your regular type airplane. The bigger ones might have 3 seats, 4 seats, 3 seats, or even 2 seats and 2 seats. But yes, your seat is just the place that you will need to sit down, a chair. You could also have a seat in a movie theater or a seat in a restaurant. Just basically the thing that you are going to sit on. That is your seat.
There you go.
And also most of the time the seats are assigned. When you say, this is my seat, it's because you have something that says, this is my seat. Or you said, I want to sit here, so this is my seat.
Exactly. A chair could just be a piece of furniture in a room. A seat is a little bit more like your chair, the one we have given you. There's a number, there's a letter, it's on your ticket, something like that. If you want to have a place to sit, you need a chair, but of course you also need a seat. Let's take a break and then we'll be back to find out if they can find one more pillow and blanket on this plane.
I'm so sorry. That shouldn't happen. Will one of each be enough?
Actually, I wouldn't mind another blanket. I often get cold on planes.
Okay. Before I get those, can I do anything else for you?
May I trouble you for some water?
That's no trouble at all. I will be back with your things.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so
Yes.
we have this pillow blanket situation.
Right. Patrick is cold. Patrick is uncomfortable. Patrick is unhappy.
Yes, and the flight attendant is trying to help.
Okay, good.
I'm so sorry. So first, again, they are apologizing for the situation. Again, this is something that we saw in the previous dialogue where they are apologizing for something that might not actually be their fault, but this is kind of the way to politely say, it's all right, I'll try to figure it out, but at first I'm going to apologize that your experience or what you thought was going to happen wasn't exactly what happened. So the flight attendant says, I'm so sorry, that shouldn't happen. Will one of each be enough? Is it okay if you just have one pillow and one blanket? Because I'll go grab it.
Okay, so I think for most people that would be okay. Some people might want to have two pillows, right? One for behind your back, one for behind your head or something like that. But they're basically saying we don't have a lot of extra pillows and blankets, so if we get one of each, is that okay? And then he says, actually, I wouldn't mind another blanket. Ooh, two blanket Patrick. Whoa, Mr. Fancy. I know that's actually not strange. I often get cold on planes. So there you go. Sometimes I see these guys, and it's always men, getting on a plane wearing shorts. And I know that in 2 hours, when the plane is flying really high, and it's minus 50 degrees outside, their legs are gonna get cold. So maybe that's Patrick's problem. He wore a thin shirt and summer clothes, but now it's cold on the plane, and he's actually getting very, very chilly. Actually is an adverb that we can use when we're kind of giving more precise information or guiding you to the better answer, the better idea that we have. So, can I have a blanket and pillow? Sure, one of each. Actually, what I really want to get closer to my wishes, what my heart desires, I would like to have two blankets. So, one would be okay, but to be more careful, to get the best solution, I would like actually to change it a bit, give me two blankets. So that's what he wants, one pillow, two blankets. Will he be able to get it? Do they actually have that many blankets?
Well, the flight attendant says, okay, so seems like, yes, they do. But then she says, before I get those, can I do anything else for you? So she probably wants to double check that there's nothing else he needs so that she doesn't have to go and come back and go and come back. She can get it all at the same time.
Good point. She wants to save an extra trip, and because she will be coming back, right? So might as well ask. And Patrick says very politely, may I trouble you for some water? All right, basically, please could you get me some water in a more polite and nicer way? May I trouble you for, and then the thing that you want. It's basically a polite way of saying, could you please get me, in this case, some water?
Yes, and the flight attendant responds to that question with trouble in it. Now she says that's no trouble at all.
No trouble.
No
Okay,
trouble,
good.
no problem, no worries. I can get that thing. I will be back with your things.
Two blankets, one pillow, and some water. Got it. And Patrick seems very happy so far. He will wait patiently for his blankets, pillow, and water. And then he says, thank you very much. So there you go. That's a very polite way to finish off their quick conversation. And I'm sure in a few minutes he will be all wrapped up. He will have his pillows and then he will realize he can't drink his water because the blanket is wrapped all around him.
There's no arms anymore.
Well, then he'll need more help. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We hope you get all of the things that you ask for. And remember, if you don't, then you need to ask for them. If you don't ask, you'll never get them. So this is a good thing to do.
Yes.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Patrick pushed the flight attendant call button.
Hello, sir. What can I do for you?
Hi. May I have a pillow and blanket? They weren't on my seat when I boarded the plane.
I'm so sorry. That shouldn't happen. Will one of each be enough?
Actually, I wouldn't mind another blanket. I often get cold on planes.
Okay. Before I get those, can I do anything else for you?
May I trouble you for some water?
That's no trouble at all. I will be back with your things.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 airplane 名词飞机。The airplane landed safely at the airport. 飞机安全降落在机场。Safely 就是安全地。下一个单字 blanket 名词毯子。Wendy covered herself with a blanket. Wendy 用一条毯子盖住自己。下一个单字 seat 名词座位。Hugh couldn't find his seat in the theater. Hugh 无法在影厅找到他的座位。最后一个单字 actually 副词其实实际上。Fanny looks young, but she's actually 50. Fanny 看起来很年轻，可实际上她已经50岁了。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 Will one of each be enough? 各一个够吗？One of each 表示两者以上，每一种一个。Enough 是形容词，意思是足够的、充分的。我们来看看这个例句。All the sushi looks great. Let's try one of each. 所有的寿司看起来都好好吃，我们每种试吃一个吧。Sushi 指的是寿司。下一个文法 Somebody wouldn't mind something. 某人不介意某事物。Would 在这里用于表达想法或感受。Mind 表示介意、不喜欢。我们来看看这个例句。I wouldn't mind a change in our vacation plans. 我不介意改变我们的假期计划。最后我们来整理一下 trouble 的用法。Trouble 当动词使用的时候，指的是使麻烦、使烦扰。所以 trouble somebody for something 指的就是麻烦某人、某个事情。我们来看看这个例句。Can I trouble you for some advice? 可以麻烦你给我一些建议吗？ Trouble 当名词的时候，意思是麻烦事、不便、不方便。所以呢 no trouble at all 意思就是一点都不麻烦。我们来看看这个例句。It's no trouble at all. I will handle this. 一点都不麻烦，我会处理这件事。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
In the past, the timber industry in Old Chiayi helped the area grow, making it known as the capital of wood. The Chiayi Sawmill stored and processed wood from Alishan. Although it's not working anymore, many facilities in the sawmill are still there, letting us see what it was like. Imagine the loud machines and the smell of wood. Let's find out more. Chiayi was an important place for forestry. During the Japanese-ruled period, the Japanese found that Alishan was rich in forest resources. They started to develop forestry then. The Chiayi Sawmill was built in 1914. This sawmill was used for storing the wood from Alishan and processing wood into timber. It had the best machines to handle the process. However, in the 1960s, the authorities stopped logging. As time went by, fewer and fewer people knew about logging in Chiayi. In order to bring the memory back, the Chiayi Sawmill was rebuilt. Now, the Chiayi Sawmill has become an attraction. It shows a lot of beautiful wood sculptures. And people now know how the Chiayi Sawmill worked in the past. The Chiayi Sawmill no longer produces timber, but its great history is kept well. The newly opened Chiayi Sawmill collects these past priceless assets. Wood was transported by the Alishan Railway to the Chiayi Sawmill for processing. This tells us that wood played an important role in Chiayi's history, and by visiting the sawmill, we can learn about the roots of the people of Chiayi. Get ready to step back in time and visit a precious piece of cultural history.